he's one of those people who is very important for the arts. He's not an artist himself. He's just this guy who is completely crazy about the arts. And he runs an organization called K. How long has it been around? 22 years. He does this amazing K festival every year in Bombay. And it is his mission to show all of us in Bombay how this wonderful state called Kerala has this amazing culture, very complex culture of arts, and it's his mission to bring it to us and show it to us in ways that that we can access. One of the greatest difficulties one has with traditional arts is if you don't know the language, you can access becomes very difficult. What Kelly does beautifully is help us access, help us see the magic, help us experience the magic. So he recreates for us in Bombay some of the magic that they experience in Kerala. I had the opportunity to go to Kerala once for one of the Melam festivals, where and it's in my head, that picture right now is already making me go mad. You have hundreds of people come together without rehearsal and they perform before they perform the Melam. And it's these rows and rows and rows and rows and rows of artists who are playing this brilliant crescendo of percussion together. I hope he shows a little bit of it to you in his film today. Today we are going to get a little taste of the magic that is created through Kelly. I will now hand it to you. Or who do I hand it to you? Okay, and you'll introduce people as a friend, right? Okay, thank you Mr. Ramachandran and team for being here.
Good evening. Once again, let's put our hands together for the brilliant performance. The instrument we just heard is commonly called the Morsing. I was told very recently that the etymology of that comes from Mukhe Chung. So, Mukhe Chung, the instrument used by the mouth, and then that got diluted to more chung and then to more sing. So that was the more sing. You must not be wondering what this strangely dressed woman is doing up here with this big oversized notebook. This is because I am not an expert. I am not here to give you a lecture or to tell you what rhythm is about. I am very much a part of this group as you are. I am an art enthusiast, I love music, and I am here to discover the same thing that you guys will today. We are all on the same journey. To help us through this journey, we have an ensemble of amazing artists who all are originally from Kerala, but now most of them live and work in Bombay, but they have managed to fought for continuing their art diligently through their practice and of course their powerhouse of talent, which you're going to watch very soon. I had the privilege of watching them while they were rehearsing, so you're in for a surprise, although I must warn you, it might get a little loud here today. So let's begin with the very basic question. We are here all together today to try and demystify what rhythm is, especially in the context of the Kerala Percussion Ensemble. So let's start with the very basic. What is rhythm? I would like you all to take a minute just to think about it and tell me what you think rhythm is about. Let's all just share our thoughts. What do we think rhythm is?
Flow of sound, movement of sound,
Movement of sound, very interesting. Any other thoughts?
vibration of sound,
Vibration of sounds.
Repetitive beat.
Repetitive beat. Anything else? Where does rhythm come from? What are the origins of rhythm? Sorry?
Nature.
Nature, yes. There's a lot of rhythm in nature.
from a heartbeat,
Sorry?
from our heartbeat.
From our heartbeat. I was really hoping somebody would say that because that leads up to the next section of my Anyway, heartbeat. The very, very essence of human life. That's where, I mean, it's not far-fetched to say that rhythm is built in each and every one of us. Our heartbeat provides us with a rhythm which governs the rhythm of our breath, which governs the rhythm of our speech, our movement, our everything. So it all boils down to that one little beating heart, the very essence of life. Let's try and listen to our hearts. Let's try and listen to the heartbeat. Let's take our right palm, put it on the general region where the heart is supposed to be, and try and listen to it. Closing the eyes with it. Can anybody put that into sounds? I won't speak about my heart because it's racing right now, but all of you all who are in a calmer situation, what does that heart sound like?
Heart is ticking.
Ticking, the sound of, well, generally we say lub and dub. So it's lub, dub, lub, dub. Different speeds, different tempos. So the very basic essence of rhythm, at least for us human beings, comes from this lub and this dub. So let's try and count our rhythm together or soft all over. Mine is going. How are your hearts going right now? Can we chant the love and the dub together? Anybody can begin.
Love, love, love,
Dub.
love, 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 love.
Already you're getting it. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. The very basic beat of 4 counts. We all have it inside of us. We will come back to the 4 counts in a little bit, but the moment we talk about rhythm and we come to beats and there are numbers of counts, that's what makes it all confusing for people like us. So let's try and bring it to the very basic. Let's start and try and understand this one rhythm pattern of 3 beats. In the Carnatic music system, the 3-beat rhythm is called the Rupaka. So it goes like this. 1, 1, 2, 1, 1, 2. Am I right? 1, 2, 1, 1, 2, 1, 1, 2. Tap, tap, four, tap, tap, four. 1, 1, 2. that was the 3-beat rhythm pattern or the rupakam. Now I'm going to ask Sir to demonstrate an 8-beat pattern, which is 4 plus 4. Again, in the Carnatic style, it's called the Adi Talam. So we count 4 and then 4. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So you 1, finger, 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 clap, open, clap, open. Clap, finger, 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 clap, open, clap, open.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. This is first grade. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Second grade. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Third grade. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Kadina, kadina, kadina. This, kadina, kadina, kadina. Kadina, kadina, kadina.
Okay, so starting to talk about rhythm. Now we move on to rhythm and music. From times immemorial, music and rhythm have always existed together. Most of the kinds of music that we know uses rhythm as an accompaniment. Of course, music can never really exist without an inbuilt rhythm of some sort. So percussion has always been viewed as an accompanying form of music, percussions. But in Kerala, the case is a little different. Here what has ended up happening is very beautiful. Rhythm seems to have taken music and kind of developed this whole new different kind of oral art tradition that's that's steeped in rhythm, that is all rhythm. And music, vocal music for that matter, is a bit of an accompaniment for the percussion ensemble in itself. Samira just talked about the Medam festival where hundreds and hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of percussionists gather together and perform together as a performance, as an ensemble piece. And that has been the traditions for thousands and thousands of years in Kerala. So I'm going to ask two of the artists today, I will introduce them all at the end of this session, to demonstrate a small, ensemble, mini ensemble, where one of the artists will be singing in Ashtapadi, which in Ashtapadi is usually songs inspired from the Gita Govind, and it will be set to a ragam, Neeti Gaura, sorry. Ragam that he will be demonstrating to us is a Neeti Gaura ragam. And we're going to have a different instrument over here. Of course, I'm sorry, I forgot to introduce the mridangam to you for those of us who don't know it. Mridangam is a traditional percussion instrument from the Carnatic style of music. But the instrument you're going to see now is the idakkyam. It's again a very traditional, for those of you who can't see through me, it's a traditional Kerala percussion instrument. It's very colorful, I love it. You will hear it has a very distinctive tonal quality, to which the vocals lend a beautiful touch. I won't try and explain that in my limited vocabulary. Just listen to it and you'll see what I mean.
Oh
Thank you very much, sir. We were talking about percussion ensembles, like the one Samira described. That's the Mela, where usually during the season when the festivals are on in the temples of Kerala, Melams are usually about 1,500 percussionists that gather together just minutes before the performance. They don't gather together and rehearse before. There is no conductor who tells them what to do, when to do. They have a very, very intricate pattern of rhythms, and their rules are very intricate and very mysterious actually. Unless we sit down and study about them, I don't think I at least will be able to understand how they do it, because it's just magical. Apart from that, there is something called the Panchavadyam, there is the Tayamaka, there are different kinds of rhythm ensembles. But the basis of all of it is that the instruments, they interact with each other, they talk to each other, like the way you and I talk to each other. They have a language of their own. They come together and they have a conversation. So I'm going to ask some of the artists to come up here and show us what these conversations sound like, what the language is. And let's see if we can try and understand, at least let's try and scratch the surface of that knowledge over here now. We will witness a conversation between 4 different percussion instruments now. One is the morsing that we've already heard, and the mridangam, 2. Third will be the idakkam, and then we have the chenda. This is an instrument we haven't seen yet. This is called the chende. So let's see what happens when they all get together in jam. sweethearts? Did it seem like they were having an argument? Were they discussing something that they know about? Anybody?
More like you're talking to each other.
They were talking, what would the subject have been? What were they talking about? The weather?
What to play next?
Sorry? What to play next? Okay. Like a husband and wife. What were they talking about, sir?
Expenses. We did an argument about expenses.
They were arguing about expenses in the house. Who got the last word, you think?
The wife.
Sorry? Our BJP and Congress. Oh, that's interesting. But they didn't seem like our BJP and Congress to me because they were very much together. They didn't seem to have any differences among each other. No fighting, no Arnab Goswami in between, you see. I'm being politically very incorrect. Moving on, we're going to witness another percussion ensemble, which is called the Tayam. I say ensemble, although it's actually a solo on the chenda. The chenda is the instrument we met last. It's a solo on the chenda, but it's accompanied by other chendas. In picture a blues song with the backup singers, something like that. The main chenda is on solo, with the others accompanying that chenda. So let's witness the time.
Just short version. Yeah, just to be warned, these are outdoor performances and we are indoors, so your ears would suffer a little bit. Please put up with it. It's actually fantastic.
It is. If you go beyond that, it is very wonderful.
Just imagine you're on the outdoors, okay?
Let's all just take a couple of breaths in and out and
Here are your drums.
clear our eardrums and moving on forward. Before we move on forward to the next section, my ears are still ringing. Any thoughts? Anybody would like to say yes?
When you see what you were saying was, thank you. And what you were saying was, listen to me you all. Give your ears to me you all. I tell you something very important, very, very important. This is what I have to say. Now I begin. This is how I begin. Bad news first. No, first bad news. This is what happened. A clash with our army. Brutal killing of our king. This is how it happened. Fighting till the end, last breath, he lost his life. Slowly, getting ready, gathering his wits. Brave fighter, very brave. What to say? Fought till the end, he gave his life for us. Fighting for us was his life. Till the end, he never gave up. Please listen, this is what I want to tell you. Like him, you are all fight till the end. Keep your eyes over all of you. Such greatness our king had, not less in battle. This is the way to fight. Keep on. This is all, keep your ears. Do not shudder. Fight till the end. Dying, let us know how brave you are. Still keep on. Go on. This is what our king was. Listen, please listen. Go on. There is no end to life. Sad end, sad demise. Or one king. Then he changed the tune. We will seek our revenge. Our enemy will be destroyed. He will be killed mercilessly. Kill him for killing our king. Thank you.
Since we're running short of time, we've been told we're running short of time. We're having so much fun, it really doesn't seem like so much time has gone by. Moving on to our next section, before we begin the next session and before I invite Shri K Ramachandran sir to take over the next section. What you witnessed here is thousands and thousands and thousands of years of wisdom, of learning, of teaching. These instruments and these percussionists, they live, they breathe their music, they breathe their rhythms, which is why it's possible for them to do something like this at any given point of time, which is why it's possible for miracles to happen all over Kerala. But this tradition, like most traditions in the country, unlike most traditions in the country, it has survived the years. And the reason behind that is squarely on two different communities of Kerala. They are called the Maras and the Podwals. The Mara and the Podwal communities have tried for years and to preserve this art form, even though they've been through tough times and financial difficulties, family trouble, but they have kept this tradition so high up in their in their list of priorities, clearly, that it has lasted till this day. I'm going to ask Ramachandran sir now to come up and share a little bit of his knowledge and his passion for this art form. So.
Good evening, everybody. In Junoon, actually, Sangaran Secretary told me to tell my subjective experience in this art or whatever it is with you. Instead of telling what I felt, that it's better to share it with you. That's why we had all these ensembles here. So that drums itself speaks to you, that whispered to you, that discussed with you, and that roared at the end and showed this is the power of the tradition. I'm coming from a mid-village of Kerala, where this percussion is a very, very powerful tradition. As Shruti told you, that has been preserved mainly by two communities, Maras and Podwals. We should go ahead before them. They have preserved the tradition among all their poverty, all their limitations, all their so many struggles they have gone through, but still without losing its spirit, they have preserved it and handed over to the generation. Now at least we are in a position to hear it in Bombay, otherwise it has been vanished long back, it has been expired long back. So I would like to share a little bit of their evolving history. For example, we have only a limited time. I will just share one survival story of a Mara who is still a stalwart. He is no more now, but in the heart of everyone he is a stalwart. His name is Mara. I will just share one moment from his autobiography that will tell you how this was so pathetic in their life. Apumara was a boy, when he was a boy of 3.5 years old. This is a matriarchal system, where linear system, better we may say, where father is not that much powerful or whatever it is. Mother has to take care of this. And his father was a very famous percussionist, and he was taking care of his family, his mother, everyone. And this father has gone to Trivandrum to meet the king and present some performances. And he was a very genius type of person. I mean, Apomara's father was a very genius type of person. And he had some bad moments with the king. And immediately after performance, the king told him, you are in prison, some sort of. For example, you won't be able to go back to your country. You will be staying here in Trivandrum itself. And you can stay here, you can live here, but you won't be allowed to go back. Poor Apomara and his mother do not know where is their father born and where he is. In those days, mobile, nothing, communication modes were not there. And simply they live for many months in a starvation. And they are starved and they don't have anything to eat literally. And his uncle took him to a temple called Pallahu, where his family was entitled to do the temple duties. Temple duties means all these belong to temple duties. Actually, these are temple rituals, evolved from temple rituals. So, at an age of 3.5 of Apomara, when he was in a position to lift up the conch, he became a conch blower of the temple. When he was when he was in a position to lift the adakya, that which was Rani played here, he became a adakya player. His Gurukul tradition, his Gurukul education is only for 6 months. He has studied only up to the first standard after that moment. But the way that he has been developed his art and the way that he became an idol figure, we can say, he became a genius at a very younger age. And in his autobiography, he is mentioning when he met his father in his life. He went to a performance in the northern part of Kerala called Mangada, where there is a Panchavati performance is happening. Somebody called him and just asked him, would you recognize this person? That man said, I don't know. This is your son and this is your father. That was the first meeting after 15 years that man met his father. That is a system of that time. And in the evening for the performance, Panchavati performance was going on. They were playing together. And the father doesn't know that his son is playing adakya. He is an adakya player. So when the time like this Jugalbandi sort of things comes, he didn't give the time to his son. Okay, and somebody else said, give him, he will play. And in his autobiography he is saying, when I repeated the first cycle, I saw my father was looking at me surprisingly with blown eyes and looking at me. And when I played the second turn, I saw that he is totally stunned. And when I played the second turn, I saw that he is lifting his clothes and wiping his eyes, his moistened eyes. That is a way that his father and son meet after this singing. So I have a small video of this Apomara where he said, in Kerala there are so many stalwarts like this, but they are not familiar like Bhimsen Joshi or Jasraj. You are all familiar with this. This is a very exclusive tradition which belongs to only the southern part of Kerala. You may not be much aware about these gurus and all these things. So I just would like to share a few of his moments of his performance, just to share with you, like a dedication to our guru. I'll have a small video which happened in Bombay in 2001 as a part of the K Prithvi festival together when we did it. The last video which you have seen, that elements and that shot, that's my village actually. It's a village festival. You know, that village festival is 1,430 years. It has a written history of 1,430 years. Okay. So, while, my childhood memory, when we sleep with my mother, at night we can see goddesses are walking through the roads there. And each and every child born into that village is used to this rhythm. Even as a small child of this age can very easily recognize what which is going on and what it is. It is not a what you call thought process or something. It is a self-taught process and it is spontaneous. Everybody knows it, this thing. So now only when 6 and 7 drum play here, you realize the strength of this thing. Here it is 350 drums playing at the same time in one place and 350 drums on the other side. Both are happening in the same corridor at the same time. So this is a village which inspired me. That's my beginning. So of course when somebody is coming from this village, coming to a city, we will miss a lot. We know what we have earned in life, but we will realize what we have lost in life. So that's how we clearly formed here. Through Kelly, we have brought all these performances here that Apomara performed here in 2002, in 2001, and in 2002 he expired. So it is through Kelly. It's a revisit to my Kerala or a revisit to my childhood experience, which should be also what you call interesting for you too. That's all about my. Without this culture, without this tradition, I am no one, or this Kelly has nothing to do except this tradition. So that's all about me or Kelly or my experience. So,
I've seen some of the most amazing percussion performances and choreography performances at Holman Circle Garden, which is where he has done a lot of the Kelly traditions. You will have got a little green slip or some slip. If you're okay with it, first of all, give us your email IDs and we will also keep you posted on what Kelly does because it's really magical. And you know, there's something like in that part of the country, there's something mad. Wonderfully mad in their genes because what happens at that time is a whole bunch of artists come from Kerala, his friends come and they show up and then they do the garden. I can't tell you how beautiful it is. And they do the most simple decor, but it's incredibly gorgeous. And you just go and you just give yourself up to the garden and to the performance. And really that is where, we saw a little bit of a jhalak here, but really when you see it in the garden is when you begin to understand what these guys have grown up with. And it's what, over 2,000 years old?
Yeah.
It's over 2,000 years old, right? And it's an unbroken tradition of over 2,000 years, which is, I don't know how many other places the world can boast of something like that. And it's living. I mean, what's the best? Often traditions are old, but then they stay in the past. But this is living. And maybe at some other presentation, you can actually take us through how the training happens. We don't have time. We have to let the museum staff go home. So, so you can chat to them afterwards. But it's actually quite magical how there's a whole process, and it's very much part of the living. Am I correct to say that? Right? Yeah.
If Zakir Ji is here in town, Zakir Hussain is in town, he will never miss our festival. He will come over there, sit in front, go and wish the artist, then only he will go. He sit and watch for the whole 2 hours performance. And
You also told me that he couldn't pick up the rhythm. He was saying something, no? When he first saw it, that he couldn't pick up what the rhythm was.
But it's the first time he's listening this culture. He has heard about it, but it's the first time he's witnessing something. Then he will never miss it. He will come.
I've been for the festival at the Monument Circle 2 years back.
His
Yeah. What is amazing is, you see masters as very senior people, but we saw very young kids performing, which tells you that this is going to live on, because you have very young artists,
Of course.
children learning.
And the children are not taught the way that we are teaching them in schools and everything. They will be given the training, basic training will be given. I mean, basic means how the beats and all this. Then they will simply pick up a chanda and join this. In the beginning, they will be at the end of somewhere else. Gradually, with time, they will move into the center, they will come in. All the performances are coming up like that only, not a formal this thing. This wonderful tradition is coming like it's a genetic, what you call, inheritance or something, this gradually transforming.
And in fact, just to add, when I was doing my research many years ago, I had the opportunity to move through some of the villages of Madhya Pradesh and stuff, and actually it's quite amazing. There are many, can you hear me? You can hear me in front, right? There are many learning systems in India which are exactly like this, where because it's part of the culture, what happens is people will tell you X is my guru. They have never actually learned directly from the guru, but because they have made that person, am I correct, right?
Yeah.
They have made that person their guru, and they follow the guru, and they watch, and they learn, and they pick up, and they better themselves. So it's a very interesting learning system which is extremely informal and extremely self-disciplined, which is actually quite amazing, which is what you're saying happens, right?
Of course, I mean, if any of you are getting an opportunity to go to Kerala, don't miss this festival. It's not, luckily it is not tourism affected festival, because tourism can nothing to do in that space, because that space cannot be increased. And because that space cannot be, so tourism cannot do anything. They cannot increase elephants for 101 or whatever it is. Only 7 elephants can stand there. And that corridor will be totally empty in the morning or something. You won't feel that some festival is going to happen here. That festival starts exactly at 6 o'clock in the evenings. Till 6 o'clock you will find hardly 10-15 people here and there watching them. And at 6:30 when the first beats come, this is the crowd which I showed you. They will come over there and they will capture the whole space. So you should not miss it, because at least you must have understood right now, this doesn't require any pre-knowledge. You need not know the basic beat or whatever it is. You simply sit into the system. The system will take you away. And that will carry you. That no need to have, any child can watch it, any senior can watch it. I have seen in my childhood the draggarts. While digging soda, they are waiting to the rhythm only in the beginning. So the whole surroundings are moving to that rhythm itself. So you should not miss it. This year it is on April 8th, I think, April 8th, and it's a very rare, non-tourist affected festival. So it is still in the purity. This performer was performed here, who is, in the video last clip which I showed, he is performing there on the 36th year, which has just completed in this thing. But still he is scared to perform there, because you can imagine, just playing, performing in front of such a huge audience. They have a comparative comparison for that. They have listened to last year's performance, before that. So if anything goes wrong or any level goes down, we will go straight away to the performer and say, listen. Nobody will go to Zakir Hussain and say your performance was bad. But here it's not like that. Any child can go there, no, it was not like that, what you have played before. So we are a little sad about it. So each and every drummer is scared. Nothing else will happen. So it is a prestigious thing. 2 years before, normally the rain comes after that. April not the rainy season. But sometimes some low, pressure or something that rain comes, until rains come sometimes. 2 years before, we were concluding this thing. In presence of 10,000, 15,000 people or lakhs of people in front of them, this has to be concluded with a grand finale. At that time, the rain came. Rain came and everybody felt that's going to be finished. It's not a small thing. People are coming from America to watch it. Those who have missed this festival come from states and from Gulf or anywhere else. I mean, they plan accordingly and coming over there. And people were like weeping it. At that time, that Peruvian Kutanmara, who is the leader of it, he knows the pulse of the audience. That, as I told you, if it is coming bad or no or something, people will go and tell him this is the way it is to be done. He didn't stop the festival. Rain started. Rain started, but he didn't stop the performance. Actually, this is not a water-friendly thing. This is a leather only, that water. But he didn't stop the performance. He felt that if I stop the performance here, I won't be able to go from here. So he continued with the performance, and he played for 15 minutes further. I was watching it. I have never had such a wonderful moment in my life. All these 15,000 people are not going home, are not going. They don't have an umbrella. They are just telling him, continue. And he did a grand finale. I can tell you how it was. So it concluded. When it concluded, concluding that session is a prestige, or it's a wish for a performer like him. Stopping in between is very painful for him. So somehow it is concluded. The rain continued. And he has been awarded also. All the instruments has been replaced. The committee members said, whatever damage had to happen, we will replace your drum. No issue at all. You come to us, and they took the responsibility of that. And that's the spirit of this festival which is going on. So, any questions? You want to ask me anything or anything? That's called Peruvanam. Peruvanam, P-E-R-U-V-A-N-A-M. Peruvanam is a village. It's a cultural entity. If you go to the Google map and search for a Peruvanam village, a panchayat, nothing is there. It's not there. It is a Peruvanam. It's the name of a village. Everybody said, I'm coming from Peruvanam village. If you go to that village, there is no Peruvanam village. I mean, village called in the geographical record or something is not there. It's a cultural entity where there's a Shiva temple. And surrounding to that, some 10 kilometers around, that place is called Peruvanam, which is a cultural entity, very famous for this tradition. And so many rituals are also associated with that, but rituals are not our main business.
Is there any time?
Yeah, it is connected with the Malayalam month actually, so it varies. Sometimes the end of March or in the beginning of April. That's how it used to come. End of March or the beginning of April. That used to come.
What is the story connected to the festival?
Sorry?
What is the story connected to the festival?
Connected to the festival, it was a Peruvanam means big forest. It was a big forest before. I mean, in older days, when the culprits has been arrested by the king, there's a big Peruvanam temple which I told you. One side of that gate will be opened and it will be pushed into the forest. And he will be eaten up by the tigers or whatever it is. Then it has been gone gradually. So it was, anthropologically, it was a tribal festival long before. And it has been in the course of time that Brahmins has hijacked this tribal festival and they have been, Shiva and Vishnu came instead of, because still in that certain temple, there is no roof. If there is no roof in a temple means it was a tribal god. Because tribal gods they need rain, they need everything. They won't need air, open air. And this closed temple came when these Brahmins took over the whole connection and they put it in the aquarium sort of things. So it was a tribal festival long before. It has been gradually converted into this thing. And this Chenda is not that 1,000-year-old whatever it is, but Chenda joined in between, somewhere in the history, course of the history.
So what does it celebrate? The entire festival, what is it celebrate?
Celebrate means almost 20-25 gods and goddesses take place in that temple. I mean in that festival. So they will come from different places. There is a pond there. There are different ponds. So each and every deity is supposed to come over there and take bath in that pond and go back. So that happens sometimes at night. Certain goddesses comes at night at 2 o'clock. Sometimes somebody comes at 3 o'clock. In my childhood when I wake up, I can hear the clanging of the elephants. I know that this is such and such goddess is going to that. With the clanging, we will be able to recognize it. And we feel that all our gods and goddesses are roaming around. They are here to protect us. This is our friendly feeling. This is our childhood experience is like that only. So everybody will come over there. And this festival which I watched belongs to one Shasta, one god Shasta. Shasta is a combination of Shiva and Vishnu. So this is the beginning of his procession. After this procession, this god will go to that pond and take bath and go back. So this is the festival is connected. This is only, the festivals are only simple things like that, but it is, as far as art is concerned, it is preserved through these sort of festivals. It was connected to the rituals, that's why it survived.
When is the Kerala happening this year?
Pardon?
The Kerala festival this year?
Kerala festival this year was a different thing, not rhythm. It was post-action maritime activity. India. That was the scene.
So I heard that the initiation into this rhythm starts with something called the Ganapati Kai, which is some 37 beats or something. Is that true? And do you have a specific number of rhythms for every god, or is it variations of 8, the Adi or Rupakam, or how does it?
The Ganapati Kai is for all sort of initiation in percussion. So better way demonstrated this way. This is Ganapati Kai. This is how they are initiating to each and every instrument.
So this is actually a combination of Adi, Rupakam, Tisram, Mishram. It's a combination, right? So it's a very creative.
There is no, you cannot say this is Adi or it is Rupakam or Mishram. There is not rhythm based performance. That's the first piece. See, each and every instrument that will be different combination. Chanda for this is the Ganapati's we want to use. They have syllable. That's all.
So in Mumbai, where do they practice when there's so much of sound? Where do they actually
Practice there. When he is building that, he is at any moment he will be thrown out. They will be able to practice here. They have some schools there, and he teaches lots of students also. For which we have Samajam, Malayali Samajam are there, and certain schools on Sundays we can do that. That practice is happening on the stone, not on the chanda. So it's not a only instrument. It's a wide instrument. The name is anyways, any instrument which is having a tribal origin will be wide because its nature is like that. Not like, see the tabla. Tabla is not from a tribal thing. It can have soft music sort of thing. But other one is tribal. It has a wild.
But sir, when you see it in Kerala, it's actually like what amazed me about when I hear this rhythm, and if you see the performance in Kerala, two things amaze me. One is that it connects so much with because the nature in Kerala is very dark. I don't know.
Yeah.
It's very thick. It's very dark, and somewhere it just makes sense. It also always reminds me of the elephants. Like every time I hear the read, I just imagine a whole bunch of elephants each time. And then when you do that in your documentary clip you show also, you show the elephant. It's
Any
So this KD festival is an annual feature, right?
annual, yeah.
So when does it happen?
Normally it happens in January. I mean, this year it was not really something else. It's a different.
No, but his annual, you connect us, we'll tell you. Because his annual becomes 3 times a year, his annual becomes twice a year, it becomes 6 times a year. So if you stay connected, we'll definitely let you know when it's happening and then go see it. You've done no 3 times a year also.
Sure.
He'll tell you it's happening in January, March, whatever he feels like he does basically. He has
Normally it happens in January.
Are they still allowing ornaments?
They just did Kala Pradesh, I'm assuming they are allowing. There was some problem there, but I don't know. Yeah, I don't know what it is, but recently it's happened. So let's assume it will be
Not
happening.
sorted out so far, but it will hopefully. Otherwise, we'll make
We'll
it.
find other gardens otherwise.
That's it. We have to raise our voice. If not happening, they're not going to.
And then there are college campuses and
Yeah.
high places. Sorry, no, that is not animals. Only in Kerala you can torture animals in the street. Nowhere else. Huh? This music is not good for them. Traditionally in Kerala they torture the elephants this way, but so if you have any further questions, these are on.
I have to introduce the artist also.
Please.
In my childhood, I have seen the gurus like that Apamara who performs Yoshi. There are a number of gurus, long gurus are there. Why I am saying is that it's very important that how they preserve this art form. In 57 there was a land reform law which happened in Kerala, which sabotaged all the feudal system. Feudals were the patrons of this system. They were in a position, this art form is completely good. There are certain areas in which the festival hasn't happened properly. But there are some miniature versions of this thing used to visit the houses with the technique. That is a ritual sort of thing. So the gurus in those days, they started practicing this rare and vanishing tradition during their performance in the houses. So the children who were accompanying them were able to listen to the music, they kept their rhythm in their mind. That is how they have preserved it. They have no other way to teach them or whatever it is. And in my childhood days, I have seen these gurus walking miles and miles, putting one chanda on one shoulder and on the other shoulder, paddy, which has been got as the reward for the performance what they have had it. And they had no money to give to the bus even. They used to walk miles and miles. So this is a very pathetic sight, still haunting image in my life. So in '99, when Sanjana, when Kelly was associated with Sanjana in '99, we had a festival, a huge festival happened here. So I shared it with Sanjana. This is an image which is still haunting me. So I would like to bring all the gurus here, and we must have a fantastic festival. Other gurus are still alive. That I have to. So Sanjana was very much excited. He said definitely they should come by flight. But the guru said, we will come over there, but we won't come by flight. We don't want to come by flight. They said, it's our prestige, we should come by flight. And they came over there, and this is a 4-day festival, whom we have felicitated all these gurus. Pandit Ramnaranji was there, and Pandit Shivkumarji was there, Alarekhaji was there, C.R. Vyasji was there to felicitate these gurus. It was a huge, it was a very memorable festival. So, now, at least these people got the benefit out of this thing. What they have sacrificed their life, but these people has got the fruit of that. So any session like this is a dedication to the memory of these gurus for their sacrifice or their pain what they have taken or the pain to preserve these art forms. So just before concluding, I would like to introduce the artists one by one.
I just completed my graduation in chemistry, BSc chemistry.
Wow.
Thank you.
Hello, myself Nitish working in
Hi, myself Vipin Nair. I'm working with an UPC.
I'm Sanjay, student engineer, working in Mumbai, and got caught up in Mumbai itself. And it is the guru who got everything to us. We all are his students. It's a great thing to be with him and perform for him.
I shall repeat all their names once more for you. We started the session with the morsing and the mridangam with Shri Shakti Dharan. We had Shri Vipin Hutti and Shri Tulsidas on the cymbals, which is called Eletalam in Malayalam. We have Shri Sanjeev Nair and Shri Nitish Narayanan on the chenda. We have Shri Rahul Nair, the chemistry graduate, on chenda and vocals. And we have Shri Anil Kumar Purwa on chenda and vocals.
He's from a traditional family. He belonged to a Podawal family. His what I call grandfathers, since great drummers. And he continues his tradition even in Bombay. He has such wonderful disciple and is totally dedicated to the percussion art and it's his passion. That inspired me. Once again.